Deputy Fiona O'Loughlin, 30 seconds to introduce.
And I wish to ask Minister Sapone to indicate the impact that the recent DEIS announcements will have on the work that has been done with young people in the schools completion programme, and if she would make a statement on the matter. And this is particularly in relation to schools where the DEIS status has been taken away, and one in particular in Kildare, which I will outline later in the question. Thank you.
2 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Deputy. Firstly, I want to welcome the publication of the Delivering Equality of Opportunity in Schools, or the DEIS Plan, for 2017. The DEIS Plan aims to achieve a more robust assessment framework for identifying schools and for allocating resources. It also seeks to support best practice in schools through interagency collaboration. And the Education Welfare Service of TUSLA will be very important in this regard. The implementation of these and other key goals in the plan will lead to an improved learning experience and outcomes for pupils attending DEIS schools. The Education Welfare Service of TUSLA, officials from my department and the Department of Education and Skills will be meeting in the coming weeks to discuss the inclusion in the school completion program of schools that have been included in the DEIS program for the first time in 2017. The group will also examine schools that are currently in the school completion program but do not currently have DEIS status. And following these meetings, proposals will be developed and given to me for consideration. I anticipate that any changes that may result from this process will not come into effect until September 2018 at the earliest. In this regard, the Education Welfare Service has confirmed that no changes are planned in relation to the school completion program for the 2017-2018 school year. No new schools are entering or leaving the program. My department continues to work with the Education Welfare Service to implement the recommendations of the Economic and Social Research Institute report on the school completion program, and to make sure that children and young people get the best outcome possible for our investment. TUSLA has taken a number of actions to address the findings of that report and to strengthen the operation of the program for the future, and I am strongly committed to the continued support and development of the school completion program, and I believe that the new DEIS plan will play a valuable role
Deputy
in that regard.
Has 1 minute.
Thank you, Minister, for your response, and I note that you do welcome the delivery of the report and all of the many positive aspects that DEIS status can bring to a school. And therefore, it is all the more concerning and worrying when DEIS status is taken from a school. I spoke here recently and asked the Minister about the very difficult situation in Kildare where not one school received a new status. And the Minister assured me that the status would not be taken from any school. But in early March, one of the schools in my constituency, the Kildare Community School, was informed by letter from the department that the status would indeed be taken from that school. And I've tried to raise it here under topical issues ever since then. And I know it's an anomaly that in terms of the school completion programme is with TUSLA and that the two cross over, and that's why I only have the opportunity to raise it with you, Minister. And I would ask that when your officials meet with the officials of the Department of Education that you would raise this, because we have a student population of 880 in this school, and more than 250 of them are expected to avail of the different type of DEIS supports that are there. 60% of the children come from DEIS primary schools, and it's a great school, but it's really dependent on those extra supports from DEIS. The school and the community are making great efforts in relation to it, and the letter that I have here from the department basically says that the school completion programme will be taken from the school as well as the home school liaison, and I absolutely think that's not good enough. And I want you to ask the Minister for Education to reverse the decision in relation to this.
Thank you very much, Deputy I think in relation to my answer, one of the things I'm indicating is that it is not, as we move forward, it is not necessarily the case that DESH schools, new DESH schools, or perhaps older, I suppose it's not necessarily the case that DESH and school completion are absolutely coupled together. That's the one thing I am saying, that we need to take a look at that again in light of the DESH review and its focus and its reform. I'm not saying either that we won't, that we necessarily will decouple, but at the same time, I think the case that you put before me and also the Minister for Education in general needs to be listened to, but more specifically in terms of the particular case, of course, I will bring your concerns to the Minister for Education. Clearly, though, that is within his remit.